I think for athletes who are trying to broaden their horizon, and I want to talk about the actual timeline and stuff like that, and sophomores and juniors and what they should be thinking about. But for athletes who are just getting started, as they look at a list of 100 schools or so, or however many Division 1, Division 3, Division 2, whatever it is, schools, how can they where would they start in broadening their search outside of kind of the Northeast or the common schools on the East Coast and West Coast? Where would they start? Is it looking at race results? Is it going up to the head of Charles and seeing who's active up in Boston? Where would high school athletes begin to broaden their scope and understand the actual options that are out there?
Yeah, I think that for rowers, you need to see what's out there as far which schools are doing well, and what schools have rowing. And I know this is probably the common answer, but like you got to start with the school. Like, what do you want to study? Where do you want to live? Um, where would you go to? What schools would you go to if you didn't have rowing? And then, do they have rowing? I would start with the school first because it doesn't always work out, and nobody knows what college rowing is until you're actually in college rowing. Like you think it's the same sport, you're in the same equipment, but college rowing is not high school rowing. It's not the same. Same race course, same equipment, not the same training or lifestyle. So first, you got to start with the school. What do you want to study? Does it have what you want to study? Does it have the climate you want to be in? Or are you like some people don't want to be far away from home? Some people want to be just far enough away from home that the parents aren't going to pop in and see it, but close enough to go home. So like all those considerations are more important than the rowing, I think, at first, and the rowing programs. But then once you kind of have an idea of where you want to live and how you want to live, because this is going to be the place where you live on your own for the first time ever. And, you're going to have to be comfortable living there, comfortable with a roommate, comfortable figuring out how to get your laundry done and that sort of thing. So I think taking care of all that stuff first is the most important. And then deciding what level you want to row in. And the beauty of college rowing is anybody can row in college somewhere. There are so many different opportunities to row in college if rowing in college is something you want to do, or continue your rowing career after high school. There are obviously Division 1 programs at Power 5 schools like Wisconsin, Big Ten type schools, Pac-12 schools, and then there are other kind of more mid-major type programs at conferences like the MAC or the Colonial or the Patriot League. And there's still, I guess, now 11 conferences. We'll see what happens with the Pac-12. But there's 11 conferences that all have the opportunity to row at the national championships. And then there are Division 2 schools who also have the opportunity to row at national championships. And then there's Division 3 schools who also have the opportunity to row at national championships. Then there's club programs. There's a lot of different club programs out there for both men and women who it's just different. And if, some of those are super competitive also, and you can keep competing at a very high level, but it might be a little different than, a Power 5 type program. So a little less pressure maybe in some sense, but the pressure is always internal. It's what you kind of stir up. It's not, the pressure really doesn't come from outside as much as it does from internal, I think. So like if, rowing can be hard. It's a hard sport. It's hard anywhere. And if that's the joy you get out of it, you can get it at any level, even if you don't have maybe the size or the erg scores or the time. Like you have to work and you don't have 20 plus hours a week to train outside of school and social life. So yeah, a lot of opportunities. And I would say kind of figure out what you want to do, then go out and search.